Hello everyone and welcome back to the Football Insider Gaming channel. Today we are taking over Borussia Dortmund of the Bundesliga with the aim of getting them back to the top of the pile. We are going to play a 2-4-3-1 formation, or potentially you could look at it as a 4-2-3-1 as well, but it's a very fluid formation is what we are playing in this game and in this save, with the hope of getting Borussia Dortmund some success. So we're going to sim through a full campaign with this formation locked in. Hopefully we can potentially take down Bayern Munich and win the Bundesliga, but that is going to be no mean feat. We're going to though go through all the ambitions for the season, what the club want you to do, and then I'm going to show you exactly how the tactic looks and which players will be playing in it. So if you enjoy this sort of content, leave a like. Please also subscribe to the channel. And if you want to use this formation, I'll put the link to it in the description below so you can test it on your own saves. Here we are with the tactic, and of course this is available on FM Scout, and I'll put the link for that in the description. But it's a 3-2-2-3. It's a pretty wild formation. We have one centre back, we have a full backs on both sides, we have two defensive midfielders, two then normal central midfielders, and then we've got a front three where we'll probably see Brian Mbeumo, Matthias Cunha, Amad Diallo, you know, all the top players, Sesko, that Man United have in there. But yeah, this is a really interesting tactic. In possession, it is very much the same, other than the front line tucking in closer together. Then out of possession, it turns into a 5-2-3. So it's a really sort of versatile formation with lots of moving pieces. It has to be very, very fluid. We'll look now at the team instructions, and in possession it's about shorter passing, a high tempo, narrow attacking width. You want to be counter-attacking in transition, balanced for creative freedom, time wasting less often, and keeping the ball in play. Out of possession, it's a high press, really high line of engagement, high defensive line, stepping up more like high and being much more aggressive on the press. Defensive transitions about counter pressing, and they want to get you to get stuck into the opponent. So this Manchester United formation and team, it's really, really interesting to see how this does. Is the team necessarily built for it? You know, I suppose we will see as the season goes on. But there we go. And I'll just do a quick pick here to give a rough idea of how the team looks. And there is going to be some, you know, things that need worked on. Diego Dallo doesn't fit in brilliantly at right back. You know, Kobe Mainoo in there, but he'll be able to learn that defensive midfield position. But there we go. That is this Manchester United setup that we're going to have. Let's also just take a quick look at what the expectations are this season, because I think that's pretty important to see what would be success. They want to qualify for the Europa League, reach the last stages of the FA Cup, and be competitive in the Carabao Cup. So basically, if we can finish in the top 6, then we've had a good season and achieved our objectives. I think we've got to, you know, have lofty ambitions in that. So I'm hoping that we can finish, you know, within maybe 6 points of the title. That's my hope for this current season. So let's see how we do. We'll fast forward. So the season has finished, and we have finished in 5th place in the Premier League table, which does fit in with our ambitions. We actually got Champions League football just because of the rules and regulations around that. We finished in 5th place. We finished ahead of Tottenham. We finished well ahead of Chelsea, who were struggling in 13th place. Man City win the title on 86 points. So we're 16 points off the pace at the top of the table, but I don't think we can really be too upset with our finish there. Let's have a look quickly at the XG table, see how we did there. So we were 3rd in the XG table, and yeah, you know, that probably paints a better picture. We're only 4 points off Liverpool there for the top of the XG table, so that feels a bit better. Maybe we're just a little bit unlucky. We scored 105 goals and conceded 73, so this tactic was clearly very, very entertaining. 178 goals in all of our games, and God, I mean, we conceded comfortably the most goals in the league. Yeah, the next closest team was Sunderland, who conceded 72, so pretty wild. I'm very intrigued to have a look here at our results over the course of the season to see if we had any crazy games. We start with a 1-1 draw against Arsenal, beat Fulham 3-1. We go through here, 7-2 defeat away at Manchester City, where Erling Haaland scored 6 goals. Pretty wild. A 6-6 draw away at Brentford. So this tactic is definitely entertaining. We had 3 games in a row where there was 6 goals scored. So 6-6 here. Scored in the 90 plus 9 to grab the equaliser. 6-1 win against Sunderland. Then a 6-2 defeat away at Liverpool. So I'm seeing a trend that maybe in these big away games, this tactic is not necessarily the best. 2-0 win away at Forest, 3-0 against Everton, a 5-3 defeat at Wolves, which is disappointing, but then it followed by a 5-1 win at home against Bournemouth. We keep going here, a 7-1 away win in the FA Cup against Portsmouth here. We did beat Leeds as well away from home, which is nice. Arsenal, 3-1 away win. FA Cup, we go out against Manchester City. Erling Haaland scoring his 10th goal against us this season. A 5-2 win against Spurs as well. 5-4 defeat against Everton, where Beto scored 3 goals in 80 plus minutes. So we were winning this game 4-1 and we conceded 4 goals. We conceded 3 goals so yeah, it must have been 4-2. We conceded 3 goals in the last 10 minutes and lose at 5-4. Pretty impressive. Followed it with a 4-0 win against Crystal Palace, a 4-4 draw against Bournemouth. Yeah, it looks like we get the winner there, and then we concede in the 93rd minute. A 5-1 away defeat at Newcastle. I can see here a 7-3 against Brentford. Pretty wild result there. So I mean, just overall a 2-0 defeat away at Sunderland. But overall, this is a wild tactic. How did we do in the Carabao Cup? I don't think I saw that. So we lost against Wolves in the Carabao Cup, which is obviously disappointing. Let's have a look now at how we did in terms of stats. Let's see who our best performing players were this season. I think that's going to be pretty interesting. I guess our goalkeepers not had a great season. So in terms of average rating, Matthias Cunha is our top highest rated player. We've got a lot of players who are +7 here, which is nice. In terms of top goal scorer, Benjamin Sesko nets 22 and gets 9 assists. Cunha 20. Bruno Fernandes was 17. Brian Mbeumo hit 9. Let's have a look at the assists. And yeah, Mbeumo, Cunha, Dallo, Sesko there with 9 as well. So we were a very, very, very creative team in this campaign. And ultimately, we did manage to achieve our objectives. We got in the Champions League, so that's a massive win. This tactic, though, probably not built, in all fairness, for this type of team. But quite clearly, yeah, we were very, very high scoring, very, very high conceding. And look, obviously Dallo's not a perfect fit in there. Kobe Mainoo not a perfect fit in defensive midfield. And I think if you got the right players for those positions, you would probably see a sizable difference in terms of results. But overall, I think this is a fun tactic, and I think the goals and everything else that came with it, the conceding a lot but scoring a lot, I think it's interesting. Plus 32 goal difference is interesting as well. And yeah, overall, I would say that this is fun. Not what you'd necessarily want if you were trying to, win the league, but could be fun if you are wanting to create a little bit of chaos in your game. Away record not the best here, 7-4-8, so that's not ideal either. But yeah, let me know if you've used this tactic. Let me know if you've had any success with it, and let me know, if you think that this was maybe the wrong team to use it with as well. Please also like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this sort of content.